Although Airborne School was probably the easiest school I ever attended, to my dad and to thousands of other soldiers and their families, it was the highlight of my career. Let's start with phases. Airborne School is located at Fort Benning, Georgia, and is 3 weeks long. The first week is Ground Week, the second week is Tower Week, and the third week is Jump Week. Airborne School starts off with a physical fitness test, which is administered by the airborne instructors, also known as Black Hats. And then you spend the next 4.5 days practicing your points of performance and what is called the PLF, or Parachute Landing Fall. Military parachuting is not like civilian skydiving and having a fun experience. It's all about getting combat power to the ground as quickly as possible. And because you fall quickly, you also land hard. And this is why it is so important to do a good PLF, or Parachute Landing Fall. You will practice PLFs all day. You will do front PLFs, side PLFs, backwards PLFs. Then you will do PLFs from sidewalks and platforms, and then from the lateral drift apparatus. If you don't break your ankle or hurt your back and knees from doing hundreds of these PLFs, you also get to learn how to put on a parachute. You learn about actions in the airplane, like loading, seating, hooking your parachute static line to the aircraft, and how to exit the aircraft. Even though it's a tower, and this is technically Ground Week, you also get to jump out of the 34-foot tower. During the second week of Airborne School, you will jump out of the 34-foot tower many more times. You also get to practice your PLF some more via the Swing Landing Trainer. This is where motivated airborne students get to swing from a platform, and then the cadre releases them to the ground so they can practice their PLFs. But if you are a jerk or an uncooperative student, the Black Hats will drop you like a bag of rocks. You also spend a few hours in the suspended harness. And finally, if the weather cooperates, you are put into a parachute, hoisted up 250 feet, and released to fall to the ground and again practice your PLF. The third week of Airborne School is the only fun week. This is because you get to jump. Depending on the weather, you will jump 5 times in order to graduate. 3 jumps are Hollywood, meaning without combat gear. 2 are with combat gear and a rifle. Your first 4 jumps are at daytime, and your last jump is at night. Combat equipment. Let's move on to physical fitness. Every day at Airborne School, you will do morning PT. I remember PT being very easy, and for sure it was old school stretching, calisthenics, and a 3 to 4 mile run. Runs are incredibly slow, nicknamed the Airborne Shuffle, and are designed to strengthen knees and ankles, though I think it actually does the opposite. There is zero food or sleep deprivation at Airborne School. When I went through Airborne School, we would do 5 chin-ups before each meal. If you are not jumping at night, you have your evenings and weekends free while at Airborne School. I remember PT formation being very early, like 5 or 5:30, but I also remember being released to clean barracks at 1800. Officers usually stay in the BOQs, or base officer quarters, and the rest of us stayed in open bay barracks. I went through Airborne School as a cadet when I was 18 years old, just after my freshman year. Generally, the cadets and privates get extra duties after training, which we generally deserve and benefited from, and this is where I learned to polish a tile floor like a boss. There is minimal harassment at Airborne School, but the Black Hats do not have a sense of humor. For the most part, if we got smoked, we deserved it. There is a lot of conventional Army false motivation at Airborne School. You have to sing cadences loud. You have to sound off. Instructors talk to you at parade rest and use the knife hand to point. And they say everything is hoo-ah or airborne. Even as a young paratrooper, I found this type of leadership ingenuine and the motivation false. But I just played the game, cooperate and graduate. I generally tell everyone that Airborne School is 3 hours of information jammed into 3 weeks of monotonous training. But nonetheless, it is a prerequisite for moving onward and upward, and shooting guns and jumping out of airplanes beats having a normal job. Let's finish off with a clip of a mass tactical airborne operation. This one is daytime, so we can better see what happens. Never forget that airborne is not the mission itself. It is simply a way to get to work, a way to get to the battlefield. The real mission starts once you land. Okay, there you have it, an executive summary of Airborne School. Let me know what I missed or what has changed in the comments below.